Ivy Winters. Sometimes that just has to come out. For the bottom 5 teams, nope. Wow. Okay, how are we going to...
They are not that good.
Welcome to Balance Sports, a show at the cross-section of women's basketball and a gay time.
This is what happens when two best friends catch up twice a week to talk hoops in front of a green screen.
From interviews with legends to blunders on camera, covering Coach's game plan and also her wardrobe.
We're here to grow the game and have a good time.
This is Balance Sports.
I appreciate y'all.
This is Breanna January.
I'm Jewell Loyd. I'm Breanna Stewart.
This is Ezi, and you're watching Balance Sports.
Welcome back to Balance Sports. I'm Hunter.
I'm Jewelz.
And we are in our third segment of our mini docuseries featuring the bottom 4 teams. So, unfortunately, if you haven't heard your name called at this point, it's not looking great headed into this season.
The call's coming from inside the house.
Oh, that's a good one.
Kicking off in the 9th spot is the Atlanta Dream. You knew it.
They were 9th this last year, I believe. 9th again in our hearts going into this season. Now, this is another one of those teams to me that I just don't know if the moves they made are pushing the needle.
Correct.
I really like the addition of Allisha Gray.
Yes.
Great point guard, great defensive mind. Naz Hillman just finished 2nd in Athletes Unlimited. Congrats, Naz Hillman. They got Ileana Rupert from Vegas. She said she could have stayed in Vegas and been a part of a really great team, but she is trying to grow and change her game, and she wanted to be at an organization where she would get more time and be pushed to be a better player.
Do you think that is the majority of players who feel that way?
I think you can really easily say that after you have a ring. Because not a lot of players win a ring. And to be totally honest, I think some players are fine, maybe at certain points in their career.
Sure.
If you're a veteran, you're happy to be that player riding that bench, right? If you're a young player, maybe who's like, I think I have the potential. I'm not saying she thinks she can be Asia, right? But Asia's on that team to just say like, hey, I learned a lot from her this year. It was really awesome to go up against the MVP. I'd like to go somewhere and try to see what I'm capable of.
Yep. Depending on, I think your point is right on, depending on where you are in your career. That really matters.
Yeah, I like the youngness of this team. I mean, honestly, they have Danielle Robinson.
Young.
Yeah, they have Danielle Robinson. They have Cheyenne Parker. And then after that, I feel like they are a very young squad.
Mm-hmm. I really like Ari McDonald.
Get her, Jade.
I don't like a lot of players on this team. I wanted them to get something else to help Rhyne Howard, and they didn't. Therefore, I'm not like, yeah, this is gonna be it. Like, I think they're gonna end up exactly where they were last year. They did nothing to push them over the edge.
Don't like many players on this team. Don't catch us in Atlanta this season.
Wait, hold on. I gotta say that differently.
No, I think you said it with your chest.
Okay, we both really like Rhyne Howard. You really like Allisha Gray. I really like Ari McDonald. Who else on this squad are you like, yeah?
AD, I feel like has got the short end of the stick health-wise, just not being able to be present for the 2 years that they've been in the league.
Facts.
So I'd love to see more. Naz Hillman is going to be in her 2nd season. I think that she could be really intriguing. This feels like, you know what? I'm going to come back and validate this a little bit. This feels like a team of entirely role players. Now that I'm looking at it, it does feel very much like you've got Rhyne Howard and then not that these players are necessarily, I'm not trying to drag them, but some of these players feel like they would be your 6th, 7th girly on other teams. And
you have your franchise player and you need another star.
Come on, Nia Coffee. Okay, so our new segment, we thought. Who do you think is going to be the starting 5 for the Atlanta Dream? If you had to say, put your best starting 5 that you think could push you into the playoffs.
Rhyne Howard.
Boom.
Ari McDonald. Allisha Gray. Ileana Rupert. Nas?
Cheyenne Parker. She had a good year. She's a good post. I actually really like her. I actually really like her.
Okay, Cheyenne Parker. Is there anybody?
That's my exact starting 5 actually for them right now. Maybe. Nope, I'm going to go with that.
Okay.
Well, with this, our 10th place team would now be the Minnesota Lynx.
We are all very excited to see NaLyssa call you back on the floor.
Congrats on being back. She's great talent.
She is a mother.
Natalie Achonwa is not going to be back because she will be a mother.
Congratulations.
Now, let's talk about Tiffany Mitchell joining this roster.
That is a big win. I think having so many rookies on the Indiana Fever team did not help Tiffany Mitchell. And so I think this team has a lot more veterans. They are going to...
Why do we hate this team?
Fuck my drag, right?
Why do we think that they're 10th?
Because all they have is NaLyssa Collier, who... Okay, it's so strong. I can't...
Okay, this kind of feels like another one of those teams to me that you look at the pieces and you say, okay, like there's some good individuals here or there, but how is this going to work? We saw it not work last season when they had the best post player of all time, Sylvia Fowles. Yeah, I don't know. Some of the players on this team, I don't even think they looked well playing together. Cheryl is, you would imagine, going to run the same system. Nafisa will help being back, but I agree. I think this team really struggled in the point guard and getting points from that area. And I don't know if Tiffany Mitchell, while I do love her, will be the complete answer for that.
Let's get our starting five. Tiffany Mitchell, NaLyssa Collier, Jess Shepard,
Ariel Powers.
Yeah.
Kayla McBride.
Here we go.
Boom. Bob's your uncle. Next.
The 11th best team.
You know them. You love them. You hate to see them end up here.
The Seattle Storm.
Ooh.
That is quite a tumble.
It is it's more than a tumble. You were thrown off the mat.
Okay.
This team is anchored by Jewell Loyd and Ezi and
Yes.
Mercedes.
Yes.
And every other player is new. That's quite literally.
Wait,
the
hold
team.
on. You're saying anchored by two centers?
Honestly, just saying that we have three players that are turnovers from last year.
That y'all remember.
Jewell, Ezi, and Mercedes.
Yes.
And for everyone to always be like, the Storm culture this, the Storm culture that, you only got three players that are moving that culture forward right now. TBH, they're pretty quiet ones. They
Yeah.
are.
Yes.
It's really going to be interesting to me to see how this team comes together, to see who the leader is. Jewell last year at exit feel like a couple times throughout the season, spoke to not having that opportunity because she's always been with Stewie, with Sue. And she was never knocking them, just like, I'm capable of doing this. So I'm excited to see her step into that role this year because outside of her, the most tenured player is Taurasi Plaisance, and I don't think she's going to be plaisancing on the court that much.
So the Seattle Storm look very different because Sue Bird retired after damn near 20 years. Stewie decided to take things in a different direction and head to New York,
Took Epiphany with her.
as well as where's Tina?
Chantal Lavender.
Yeah. And
Gabby Williams.
can we just hold out hope?
Steph Talbot.
Congratulations to Breanna January, who is now starting her WNBA coaching career with the Connecticut Sun.
So our entire team left.
Like, literally everybody's gone. Sammy Whitcomb is someone who I think will bring in some leadership. I think Kia Nurse, though 4 years in, I still think that she has a presence about her.
She does. That's actually
Right?
really shocking that she's only been in the league 4 years. I feel like she feels very veteran.
Yeah.
This is an entirely jumbled together roster. I'm going to just
There's
say
no
it.
cohesion at all.
I hate to say this. I really do. But I think we are attempting to be one of the worst. I'd hate to say like bombing, but I know we swung and missed hard at Stewie. But this is so the opposite of that to me, it's like we're just doing a complete rebuild. This is a complete rebuild.
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is throw everything out the window.
Are
We're
you
starting
saying,
from scratch.
are you insinuating that the Seattle Storm are tanking?
I'm not even going to say tanking. Some of this could be
You're like,
we
no, they're
want-
trying. They're just not going to win.
In the WNBA, the 2-year thing
Yeah.
to get a good
It's
draft
difficult
spot
to tank.
really makes it,
Yeah.
I think, challenging. So I don't know. Truthfully, is this like the head of office saying maybe we're freeing up a lot of space getting these players on shorter deals for 1 year, so next year we can swing big again? I don't know like what all those strategic moves are, right?
Sure.
Maybe we're like leaving cap space to try to pick somebody up mid-season or make trades or get draft picks. I don't know, but this is not it. Starting 5. Coach Noelle Quinn is coming back on. Pokey will coach her. Ebony has a great hook shot. She will be our starting 5.
Stop. Okay, so
Jewel and Ezi.
Jewel and Ezi. Kia. Nurse. Sammy Whitcomb. You got to put 5 on the court.
Okay, you're either going for another big, because right now you have Ezi at 6'4" as your center. You're going for either a forward or a center, or you're going for a true point guard, like Arella or Yvonne or Jade Melbourne, point guard.
Arella. That's what I would say. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that assemblage of players will definitely see some time together this season starting. I think it's going to be a season in flux. I think we will have a lot of different lineups.
Mm-hmm. We're definitely going to see
Jasmine Walker. I think she'll have some good times.
Yes, and we're going to see a lineup where Mercedes and Ezi are on the same, on the court at the same time. We saw that a little bit in 2022.
Some of these players could shock us, and that's only because we know nothing about them, and anything they do will be a surprise.
Preach. Here's my question. Here's my honest question. When people talk about like the Storm do things the right way, then why did why aren't people coming here then? Was that right way attached to Sue and Stewie? Was it the organization or was it the players who kept people here? That's an honest question. And I think I think Sue had a lot to do with that. She was the culture, so people are questioning. Perhaps that's the storyline.
I agree, but I think if Stewie would have stayed, then you would have the same culture kind of thing. Like, I think Stewie kept that, and I think part of it is culture is really nice and cute to say when you're winning, but when you're losing, which they are going to be this year, like their talent is different. So you can have all that culture, but culture is hard to have when you're losing. Yep. And so I think truthfully, some of it is just tied to the success that Sue and Stewie brought. And I think a lot of those players that were there for culture last year, I'm not trying to say it negatively, but they were more veterans that, truth be told, were not playing that much, and they were providing a level of culture as well. And so for them to go to other places, like Epiphany Prince now, I'm not going to say Epiphany's going to be just crushing it on the court with the Liberty. She is definitely there as a culture piece. So I think a lot of that was just built in. It was people maybe having a larger understanding of what the end goal was, and that was to win. And Jontel, like having what she said, I think that's a player who understood the buy-in, but also thought she was just going to get more playing time. We think that we are not the last team in the league, because that would be forgetting somebody that honestly I think is going to make some moves this year. I don't know if when we do our breakdown of individual things, I don't know if Indiana is going to be my last place team. I'm just going to spoil the tea.
What kind of moves you talking? Okay, so in the 12th spot, we have the Indiana Fever.
The nebulous Indiana Fever. They've made changes to the roster. They picked up Erica Wheeler, Maya Caldwell, and they will most likely be picking up Aaliyah Boston.
So the Indiana Fever, we are ranking dead last. Whack home.
That's a great question. I think definitely still because they're so young. They were last year, and while I really like Erica Wheeler and Maya Caldwell, this team just has a lot of room to continue to grow and get better. Now, could they make that jump and surprise some teams this year? Yeah. I don't think they'll make the playoffs, but I don't think that they'll be last this year.
We have one player, Erica Wheeler, with 7 years of experience. 2 players with 4, 1 player with 5. Everyone else has 1 year of experience. That does not say championship to me.
They have 11 players on their roster with 1 year of experience. Now, some of those players, like Christy Wallace, she was drafted early, right? Mm-hmm. And she set out some of that time. But this is a very young roster. You got to think of this too. A lot of those number ones on there, some of those players are not making the team just flat out. Yeah. Because there's no way they can have this many players, and they're also going to most likely be drafting either Aaliyah Boston or somebody else at number 1.
Do you think there's a chance they take someone else?
I think there's a chance Aaliyah Boston doesn't come out. Look, I follow this person that the other day said that she changed her hair color to be the braids because that's the Gamecocks. What do they call that color? And people were like speculating, is she going to stay? And then someone was like, she's definitely not going to stay. No information came out of that other than I was just like, good. Her NIL deals are, I don't know. I hate to say it. I don't think anyone's happy to go to Indiana. I don't know if that would change anything, right? Like if they took someone else, I don't think Indiana's going to be that much better where it's going to knock them out of probably getting the number one next year.
Right.
But Aaliyah could hope.
Starting 5.
NaLyssa Smith, who just won Athletes Unlimited. Congrats, NaLyssa Smith. They should pick up Odyssey Sims because Odyssey Sims won 3rd in Athletes Unlimited, and she's not even on a roster.
I
of the
was
WNBA
just
right now.
saying.
We're going to talk about her in our segment, Where's Odyssey? Okay, I'm starting with NaLyssa Smith. I loved Queen. Okay, and I think in Victoria Vivian's.
Ooh, we scared of them.
No, Maya Caldwell. I'm taking Maya Caldwell.
Starting 5 for the FIBA.
Point guard, Erica Wheeler. Kelsey Mitchell. Maya Caldwell. Emily Inksler. Or Queen Egbo, and then NaLyssa Smith at the 5. But I think Queen and Emily are interchangeable depending on who we're playing, and the lineup I need to go with is more defensive and more offensive. Both of those players are defensive, but I tell myself that they provide different things.
At the end of last year, you talked about the Fever trading some of these assets to really build a team. And I don't feel like they did that. They still have a lot of folks from last year. I really like Emily Inksler. I feel like they could have got something for her.
At this point, where they are in the league, you really like Emily Inksler. She's a 6'1", 180 like guard.
Mm-hmm.
Who's a comparison? Like, who are you trading for?
That's right. She's uncomparable. Okay,
No,
she's that good.
I guess what I'm saying is this is like, I wonder if Indiana's thinking a long game. Like, I could see a world where Indiana had gained and earned all these draft spots, and now they have really good players, and then you trade away a Queen Egbo and Emily Inksler, and they're super duper good on another team, but you were just unfortunately a team full of like rookies.
I'm going to take Queen Egbo, NaLyssa Smith, and Destiny Henderson.
Are you still doing that if you get the number one post player in a long
so,
time?
So everyone else needs to go because I'm also getting Aaliyah Boston.
Everyone else?
Everyone else from the new folks. So, like, Lexi Hall's got to go.
Okay.
Emily Inksler's got to go. Like, there's too many one-year players on this roster. Because I'm still getting Aaliyah Boston. Like, who's going to help her develop? Erica Wheeler?
Some of these players are listed on the roster because they were invited to camps, but they're not
going to stay here.
No one says that, but yes.
You're right. They need some veteran pieces and to be moved out of Indiana.
They got a new coach. I want to see more moves made to make me feel better about all of this.
Yeah. Maybe we start the rumor mill right now that Skylar Diggins-Smith wants to be traded to Indiana.
Ain't nobody gonna believe that.
Look, honestly, think about this. Skylar Diggins-Smith gets traded to Indiana. It's a bit closer to New York than Phoenix. And then Phoenix, with all the veteran leadership that they have over there, can get some really good rookies back. Because you would trade easily 2 of these girls for one Skylar Diggins-Smith.
Yeah, I don't think Skylar would go for that.
Indiana, she went to Notre Dame.
Has Skylar won a championship?
No.
So I think she wants to do that.
And where's she doing that right now?
So
you
that
think Phoenix is doing that? They could, honestly, if they're all healthy this year. Like, Skylar Diggins was first team. Brittany Griner's, no one can do what Brittany Griner does. If Diana Taurasi can stay healthy, just sit there and hit some threes.
What piece do they need? We've moved the needle, or we've moved the
They lost
discussion.
Diamond to Shields. They need Emily Inksler.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, they do.
Queen Egbo would provide a similar thing to Breanna Turner.
We have completed the series. There they are, 1 through 12. Shocked by any of them?
Yeah, I'm not confident at this. The rosters this year just feel jumbled. I think in other years I felt very strongly like, okay, this one's going to be somewhere around here. Multiple of these teams, I'm like, you could be 9th, you could be like 4th.
I don't know that I feel as unsure. I think the middle pack is what's most interesting. Those 4 teams that we ranked, I feel like they have a high likelihood of moving up. I think that bottom 4. I feel most confident in the bottom 4 and the top 2.
Actually, that's probably exactly it. Everyone else to me is
Can do whatever they want.
up in the air. All to say, very excited, super excited for the draft coming up to see
Absolutely.
kind of how teams can improve and pick up some different pieces.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for joining us. That was really fun. We completed our series, and the next time you'll see us on camera, we'll be talking about the draft. We're going to do our own mock draft. We are going to react. And of course, we're going to do fashion.
We got to do the fashion. That's what we're mostly coming here for, is the WNBA fashion of it all.
With Balance Sports, I'm Jewelz.
I'm Kim Mulkey's Jacket Hunter.
Keeping it.
They have Nafisa and we don't.